You get me chicken tenders, though.
Later.
Yay. Thanks, Dad.
You're live.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Adam Gresta here at Shuttleworth Park as we get set to host the first game of the PGCBL semifinals. And welcome back, folks, as we have our two teams being introduced right now at an overcast Shuttleworth Park, as this is the second baseball that it has been played here today, as we ended last night's game against the Albany Dutchmen at around 12:45 a.m. on August 2nd, as we currently have the Mohawks reserves being introduced. For people who weren't able to catch the broadcast yesterday, the Mohawks took down the Albany Dutchmen in the opening round of the PGCBL playoffs by the score of 9-8. They scored in the bottom of the ninth the winning run on a wild pitch as Jake Hammond was on third and came in to score after Mike Antico singled to put him there, as the Mohawks at one point had a 7-0 lead over the Dutchmen, but they did relinquish it in the game as they gave up a run on a pass ball and then 2 3-run home runs. Luckily for Amsterdam, they were able to trade runs with Albany after the fifth inning and then score the deciding run in the bottom of the ninth, as they did have to throw their starter Zane Stevens. They went with Blake Espinal, and they also threw Zach Durant for 2 innings, so he would have been expected to start game one tonight, but because it was a winner-take-all, winner-go-home game, Coach Griffin decided to pull the trigger on Durant and have him go in. He threw 2 scoreless innings, so it ended up being a good decision, at least at the time for that. But now that means the Mohawks will start Shane Muntz on the mound tonight instead, who actually started behind the plate last night. So we get to see both sides of Shane in the playoffs as well, as we've seen that a couple of times this season. But the Mohawks are taking on the Central Division Watertown Rapids, who took down the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs 3-2 last night in a thriller between those two teams once again. As the Mohawks continue to introduce their reserves, as we are here for game one of the PGCBL semifinals. The other semifinal is Jamestown and Geneva. That first game is at Dietrich Park in Jamestown. So we'll continue to update you tonight on the status of that series, as we have our contest going here tonight. Last night we had the game suspended for, not suspended, but postponed for 2 hours due to rain. We were in a rain delay, and eventually we would get started at around 8:45. So hopefully we will be able to play this full contest without any delays tonight, as we now look at the starting lineup for the visiting Watertown Rapids, as this is the first contest between these two teams this season. The Mohawks only played against the Jamestown Jammers, who are out of the West Division. All the other teams in the West Division they did not play against this regular season. Batting first for the Rapids, the right fielder from Catholic University, number 1, Bailey Lewis. Batting second, the designated hitter from Wilmington College, number 9, Julian Couric. Batting third, the third baseman from Stony Brook College, number 32, Mike Russell. Batting fourth, the left fielder from Rhodes University, number 33, Nick Bosma. Batting fifth, the shortstop from Rhodes University, number 6, Will Hurton. Batting 6th, the catcher from the University of Connecticut, number 4, Kenny Bergman. Batting 7th, the first baseman from Ursinus College, number 21, Alex Mummy. Batting 8th, the second baseman from George Washington University, number 10, Trevor Kunsel. And batting 9th, the center fielder from Case Western Reserve College, number 12, Samuel Neal. Excuse me, folks. On the mound for the visiting Rapids here in Game 1 will be Tyler Waldrop, who is out of Wayne State University. Waldrop has only made one appearance in the regular season for Watertown, as he went 4 innings in that one appearance, giving up 3 hits and 2 runs. Both of them were earned. He walked 5 and struck out 5, as he is 0-0 with a 4.50 ERA. As I have my partner Justin Cohen joining me here. Justin, after the marathon last night, what do you think the Mohawks can do to try and follow up that performance?
You know, I was talking with Mike Antico earlier today, and it did sound like they got lots of rest. So I'm expecting them to hold the status quo here, as we'll pause real quick for the national anthem.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please rise.
Beautiful rendition of the national anthem there by Courtney Glorioso.
So as I was saying earlier, the Mohawks were able to rest up overnight, and they should be okay to go at full capacity here, although you've got to wonder about their just energy level and the adrenaline they bring tonight after such a thrilling victory yesterday. But Watertown also had a close game last night. They only pulled out the win by 1 run. So, and they were up against Mohawk Valley. So they also had a pretty intense game, and I think that both teams will come in here still with the same amount of high intensity that you might expect out of a semifinal Game 1.
Absolutely, as we have our first pitch people here coming in, as it's actually our grounds crew here tonight throwing our first pitches. That's awesome to see. Most notably, groundskeepers Miguel and Mike McDonald. They've done a great job, as well as our other staff here.
So my way of honoring them is having them throw out the first pitch.
As we do have the overcast day, we're hoping no rain is in the forecast. It isn't showing any rain until midnight tonight.
Big time Mohawks fan. He's here early in the morning every day that we have a ball game, making sure things are all set up. He's going to have his
And considering all of the rain yesterday and just general awful weather, I think the mound especially looks great for all things considered.
As we have our first pitch people here, the Mohawks starting lineup is the same exact as last night, just the pitcher has changed. We mentioned it will be Shane Munn starting, so once again through it quickly. Batting first, the center fielder from St. John's University, number 6, Mike Antico. Batting second, the first baseman from Manhattan College, number 20, Richie Barella. From the University of South Florida, number 31, Joe Genord. Batting seventh, the third baseman from Mississippi State, number 25, Justin Q. Batting eighth, the left fielder from Morehead State College, number 14, Jake Hammond. And batting ninth, the shortstop from Marshall University, number 1, Elvis Peralta Jr. And as mentioned, Muntz is on the mound tonight for the Mohawks, as we've seen him do great things both behind the plate and on the rubber tonight, as well as at the plate. He's just done it all for the Mohawks, as in the regular season. As you want to go through those, Justin?
Yeah, so Shane Muntz on the season was 3-0. He also actually picked up a save during this season, it looks like. He had a 3.53 ERA. And we've seen him have, he's ebb and flowed all season. He's had some really, really good starts, some not so great starts. But his ERA has consistently been dropping since the beginning of the season. His first start, his ERA was up in the 8s, and since then it's dropped all the way down to around 3. He walks less people than he strikes out. He has 20 walks to 27 strikeouts. And he's given up 4 earned runs. So he's given up 15 runs during the season, but given up 11 earned. And only 22 hits in 28 innings. So pretty good at getting those 1, 2, 3 innings, as his whip is pretty low.
Yeah, as his 3-0 record and 3.53 ERA show that he definitely has made some quality pitches, major innings for the Mohawks, especially in games that have counted. As once again, we thank you for tuning in here to the Amsterdam Mohawks Broadcast Network as we bring you the first game of the PGCBL semifinals here at Shuttleworth Park, sponsored by KCG Development. KCG Development, building their lives by building better communities. And if you want to check that out, they have some awesome new lifestyle living, or excuse me, loft-style living types of developments that they are advertising. That's at www.kcgcompanies.com. As we have the throwdown from Genord, and we will get underway here in the top of the first, as it will be Bailey Lewis out of Catholic University who will bat first for the Watertown Rapids, as they have been ravaged by injury and also just by players going home, just having other either responsibilities or other things that they've had to tend to this summer, as that's usually what happens around this time in late July. They have to go back home, or they have a nagging injury that they just can't play through. As the first pitch in from Muntz goes behind Lewis, and we are underway here at Shuttleworth.
And something to note here, now that we are in the semifinals of the playoffs, we have 3 umpires. We have a first base umpire, a third base umpire, and now a home plate umpire, up from our usual 2.
As I'm sure that is a nice sight to see for the Mohawks coaching staff, most notably head coach Keith Griffin. As that one misses low and away, it'll be 2-0 now to Lewis.
Lewis on the season has a 258 average and 20 RBI.
As that pitch catches the bottom half, and that will be the first strike thrown by Muntz.
He also has 3 home runs on the season. So that's 27 RBI.
As Watertown in the regular season performed very well at the plate, as that one is chopped down to third base. Foskey fields it on to first for the first out of the inning, as that will bring up Julian Couric, the designated hitter out of Wilmington College. As Couric this season is second on the team in batting average. He's hitting .365 in 126 at-bats. That's 46 hits, as he has 13 doubles and 2 home runs. Kind of to put that into perspective, I believe Richie Burrell had 46 hits as well in the season, but in 10 more at-bats than Couric. As that one misses high and away, it'll be 1-0 here.
And something I'm noticing early as I'm looking at the Watertown stats sheet is that a lot of their players have racked up, as that one bounces in the dirt for a ball, it's 2-0. A lot of them have racked up a lot of at-bats. They have a lot of 110, 120, 130 at-bat players compared to the Mohawks, which will average around 80.
Yeah, as a lot of the guys on Watertown's roster are not from major D1 universities compared to the Mohawks, who tend to have at least 2/3 of their roster made up of what would be described as major D1 players. For Watertown, they have a couple of guys from Wilmington, couple of guys as that one is snagged by Tanner Allen at second on a one-hopper, and he throws out Couric for the second out. But they have a couple of guys from Rhodes University. They have a couple of guys from the University of Connecticut, but that's really kind of their biggest school, as Michael Russell will step to the plate.
Now, this is their first season, correct, in the PGCBL?
Yes, it is, for the Rapids. The Watertown at different times have had, they've had, I believe, a PGCBL franchise and then an NYCBL franchise. As that curveball drops in for a strike, it'll be 0-1. Russell on the season for Watertown is leading them in batting average with a .376 clip, and that one hits him, as it looked like he must have just nicked his knee. And he will take his base here with 2 outs. And that will bring up the cleanup hitter, Nick Bosma, playing left field tonight. Bosma out of Rhodes College, as well as the on-deck hitter, Will Hurton. They're both out of Rhodes.
Shane Muntz here, always something to watch here with runners on. As
that one is popped foul by Bosma.
But Shane Muntz with runners on tends to be a little bit more stressed out, and the opponent batting average will jump up as more people on base, which is something you expect. But at the same time, it seems a little bit more drastic with Shane Muntz, as the pickoff attempt almost gets him. He slides back in safely, though.
As Russell on the base paths has only 1 stolen base. He has not been caught. So he's 1 for 1. 100%, as that one is in there for a called strike, and it is 0-2 now to Bosma, who on the season is hitting .285, 35 for 123 with 21 runs scored and 32 RBIs, which is tied for the team lead. And the 0-2. That one is pop foul, and that'll get out of play. As the Mohawks and Rapids have not seen or played each other at all this season. So this is a very interesting series to watch. As Watertown also, we were thinking that since they didn't throw the race yesterday, maybe they would have the race available today, as they say it'll be Tyler Waldrop out of Wayne State University on the mound for the Rapids to start this one, as he will face off against the leadoff hitter, Mike Antico. Antico, after finishing the season hitting .239, bounced back last night in a big way, going 3 for 5 at the top of the order for Amsterdam, including a hit in the bottom of the ninth that allowed Jake Hammond to reach third base, where he would eventually score on a wild pitch to send the Mohawks into the next round here. I was just able to post, as that one has popped up by Antico, I was able to post an interview with the center fielder out of St. John's on our Facebook page, as that one is caught by the first baseman, Mummy, for the first out. So if you get a chance to head over to our Facebook page, check that out, like, share it, if you so please, as Richie Barella will step up to the plate for the Mohawks. Richie finished season tied with Michael Ludwig, who sits on deck for first in batting average on the team with a .338 number, as both of them have certainly proven their worth as hitters at the plate, as that curveball sits high for Waldrop, and it's 1-0.
And Waldrop on the season, looking at his Wayne State statistics, had just under a 5 ERA.
As that one misses outside, it's 2-0 to Barella.
He also had 36 strikeouts, 23 walks, and 8 runs that came across unearned, so 24 earned runs, 32.
As that one is slapped down the right field line, as the right fielder Lewis hooks over and will make the catch for the second out, as Mike Ludwig will step up to the plate.
If you're joining us from Watertown, you probably haven't heard about Coach Griffin's coaching style yet. He is a very swing-heavy coach, so he'll be recommending those swinging at the first.
Yeah, when you don't have a scouting report on any of these pitchers, as that one is in there for a strike on the inside corner to Ludwig, you just really have to go at it as best you can, try and be aggressive at the plate, jump on those first pitch strikes. As that pitch misses low, it evens at 1-1. As it hasn't worked for the Mohawks yet, but we'll see as they'll get through their entire batting order, which has become very formidable from top to bottom, as that one is punched foul down the left field line, and the third baseman will make the catch, and that will retire the side. So both pitchers have quite uneventful innings, as Waldrop sets them down 1-2-3, and we will head to the second here at Shuttleworth with your score still 0 between Watertown and Amsterdam. You're listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Broadcast Network here on YouTube Live. William Hurton will lead off the top of the second here for Watertown, as that first is in there for a called strike. 0-1. Hurton out of Rhodes College playing shortstop tonight for Watertown, as that one misses high. It'll leave it at 1-1.
And a boisterous crowd here from Watertown. They brought down a nice contingent, and they are making themselves heard here in Amsterdam, New York.
As the Mohawks don't have their largest crowd of the season here tonight, as that one catches the outside corner. It'll be 1-2. They have the familiar faces, all of the season ticket holders, and a lot of the people who like to come to these important games. As that one misses low, it'll leave it at 2-2. As Joe Janor makes a nice snag off of the backstop.
And this is Joe Janord's first time catching quite a bit. Shane Muntz has been the usual catcher of late. And we've seen some Nick DeBrino. We've seen a little bit of Matt Padre before he re-injured his wrist. But it's really been Shane Muntz behind the plate for most of this season.
As that 2-2 curveball sits just high, and it will run the count full. But yeah, you're certainly right. Joe is used to mainly DHing nowadays, but he has had to step behind the plate with Muntz on the mound, as that one is popped into shallow center field. Elvis Peralta Jr. makes the call and will make the catch for the first out. As that will bring up the catcher, Kenny Bergman, with not Alex Bregman, it is Kenny Bergman with 2 N's out of the University of Connecticut. As Bergman could probably call himself, along with his UConn teammates that are also on the team, I guess the highest level of college players that this team has, but all of them have been performing very well, especially in the PGCBL, where a lot of these teams have a lot of high-quality Division I prospects. As that one misses high, it's 2-0 now to Bergman.
Yeah, these guys might not come from the most renowned schools for college baseball, but they do have the most runs scored in the league, or the most runs per game of any team in the league.
7.77, which is absolutely crazy. As that one will be slapped down to first base and snagged by the as they now call it foul.
I've got to question that call.
Yeah, that one was a little. It looked like it might have maybe tapped a. I'm not sure. Coach Keith Griffin comes out to look for an explanation.
Because I believe if it's in the air and crosses into foul territory after it bounces in fair territory, that's still a fair ball if he gloves it. Yeah, so I think that's why he's asking here. As we have Dr. Kwiat gets his plug here at Shuttleworth. As now we'll resume play, a 2-1 count here with 1 out and nobody on. That curveball sits high, and it will be 3-1 now to Bergman. As Muntz sets, delivers, as that one will be popped into shallow right field. It looks like we'll have a Bermuda Triangle as Mike Ludwig makes the call in, will make the catch, running in for the second out. And this defensive alignment in the outfield for the Mohawks has really become their 3 starters, especially with the resurgence of Jake Hammond of late. And defensively speaking, they are top 3, I think, in the league, as we had the second best fielding percentage in the league this year. And although we don't keep tally of outfield assists, as that one's away. This is that one, misses low and away. As this is Alex Mummy at the plate, the first baseman out of Ursinus College in Reading, Pennsylvania. As that pitch misses away, it's 2-0. But yeah, I think it's certainly what you're saying has merit. As both of these teams, as the 2-0 is slap foul. As this Watertown team, we haven't been able to see them all season, but they seem like they're a really fun bunch to watch. I was able to go over and talk to a couple of them. That 2-1 is popped in the air as Joe Janord takes a look at it, but that will get just onto the grandstand. As we have Bob Malicki in the broadcast booth with his patented ouch. And it will stay 2-2 here to Mummy, who did not play in the
first-round playoff game against Mohawk Valley last night for Watertown.
Mummy does lead the team, though, in home runs. He has 8 home runs.
As that one is cut on and missed by the slugger. And Muntz has his second strikeout as we are through an inning and a half here at Shuttleworth. Your score is still 0-0. You are listening to the first round of the the PGCBL semifinals here at Shuttleworth Park between Watertown and Amsterdam, presented by KCG Development. Tonight. Also, for some people, we
Shane Muntz will step in here and take that first pitch for a strike.
Now, our apologies on our technical difficulties here. That curveball slapped down to third base. Throw on to first will get Muntz for the second out as Russell fielded that one. That'll bring up Joe Genord out of South Florida. Joe in his second season with the Mohawks. This is his second time in the PGCBL playoffs, as he already has a 2016 PGCBL championship ring. And I'm sure he'd like to add a second one to his other ring finger. As that first pitch into him is slap foul, it'll be 0-1. As Waldrop, who only has 4 innings of relief for Watertown in the regular season, at least in the stats, he gave up 2 runs and 4 hits. As the 0-1 to Genord catches the outside corner, and it's 0-2. And he's done a good job of working quickly, as has Shane Muntz.
Yeah, compared to last night's pace, we are flying.
I mean, it's refreshing to see the quickened pace, but it's interesting to see after such a long, drawn-out game last night, as that one misses low and away. It'll be 1-2.
Waldrop there stuttered at the top of his pitch as he moved his knee. It jerked a little bit.
Yeah, he's lucky he didn't end up falling off of it and get, no one's on base, but that could have ended badly. As that one slapped into right center field, ranging back is the center fielder, Neal, and it will go over his head for a home run as Joe Genord has given the Mohawks a 1-0 lead. Genord in the regular season hit 8 home runs to go with his 7 in 2016. He now has 16 all-time as a Mohawk. I don't believe they count in the playoff stats, but that is another home run to add to one of the most prolific Mohawks hitters of all time, as Joe looks to get Amsterdam to a second championship. As Justin Foskey will step up to the plate now, Mohawks up 1-0. Foskey has mainly been at third base for the Mohawks in these last couple of weeks, as that one misses low and away. It will be 1-0, I interviewed his Mississippi State teammate, Tanner Allen, last night after the Mohawks' 9-8 win, as that pitch misses high and away. It's 2-0. And I also was able to interview Foskey earlier in the season, as he had a walk-off RBI single for Amsterdam, as the 2-0 misses outside, and it's now 3-0 to Foskey as Waldrop, I'm sure, a little stunned by the opposite field home run by Genord. Genord, the crazy thing about watching him hit is that sometimes he looks fooled at the plate, and in the same at-bat, all of a sudden he'll hit a ball 400 feet like it's nothing.
That went to the deepest part of the park. It's 400 field.
Yeah,
400 feet.
That was easily a 400-foot home run.
Or right center, sorry.
As Foskey walks on 4 pitches, and that will bring up Jake Hammond, who scored the game-winning run last night to put the Mohawks here in the PGCBL semifinals. as Hammond has had a quality season for Amsterdam. He ended up hitting 300 even in the regular season after at one point he went down with a scary injury at Albany. We talked about it in the broadcast yesterday. And it'll be 1-0 here to Hammond out of Moorhead State as Foscue takes his lead away from first. They check him, but he slides back in safely.
Mohawks not a team to run a lot. We have two big base runners, Elvis Peralta Jr., and who's in the on-deck circle, and Mike Antico, who's in the hole right now. They bat back-to-back because that one's high for a ball.
It'll be 2-0 now to Hammond. As Jake, last night, he had an RBI single as well in the game, so he scored a run. Actually, 2 runs, I believe, as that one is fouled right back into the netting. It'll be 2-1 now to Jake. But as I was mentioning, we talked about it in the broadcast yesterday in a game against Albany at Sienna Field. Jake went down with a scary injury as he was hit in the head. He ended up seizing, and he had to go to the hospital. He was transported by ambulance, but he ended up being all right. As that pitch is ripped through the hole on the right side, and that'll be a base hit going first to third as he was stealing on the pitch is Foscue. And the Mohawks are in business here with 2 outs.
And that was a well-executed hit and run by Justin Foscue and Jake Hammond, as Justin Foscue narrowly missed getting hit with that ground ball towards the second base side. First base side of second base, but he was able to avoid it, and then the right fielder had a little bit of trouble fielding it.
Yeah, the hit and run there was executed perfectly as it moved the second baseman over just enough where he had to start coming over to cover. As Elvis Peralta Jr. bats, first one is lifted down the line on the left side, but that will hook foul. It'll be 0-1 here to the shortstop out of Marshall University, a Stoneham, Massachusetts native. Peralta has been a fan favorite this season for Amsterdam. He has 5 triples in his Mohawks career, which is tied for the franchise record. The 0-1 is slapped to the second baseman, takes a weird hop, but he will flip it to second to get Jake Hammond for the final out. As we will head to the third here at Shuttleworth Park. In that inning, the Mohawks score 1 run on 2 hits. They leave 2 on as there are no errors for Watertown. Your score after 2. The Amsterdam Mohawks won, the Watertown Rapids nothing. You are listening to the PGCBL semifinals here on the Amsterdam Mohawks Broadcast Network, sponsored by KCG Development.
And that first pitch into Kunsel is low and away for a ball.
Top of the third here at Shuttleworth Park. Mohawks up 1-0 on a solo home run from Joe Genord. As that pitch misses high, it'll be 2-0 now to Kunsel. That was Trevor out of George Washington University playing second base for the Rapids tonight.
And we are near the bottom of the order, so Kunsel batting only .210 on the season.
As that pitch misses high, but he does have 119 at-bats, 25 hits, so not a quality batting average, but he's been around. He does have 11 extra base hits, including 4 home runs, as that one catches the outside corner. It'll be 3-1 now to Kunsel. who on the season also has 15 walks. As Watertown, as a team, has 235, as that one will be popped high in the air. Elvis Peralta Jr. makes that call, and he will settle under it to make the catch for the first out. As that will bring up the 9-hitter Samuel Neal from Case Western Reserve. That's the most interesting location to play your college ball, probably out of anyone we've seen here. As we mentioned, Watertown being a new franchise in the PGCBL this season, as that one misses high and inside it, it'll be 1-0. They've had to kind of get a little unique and creative when it comes to trying to recruit players, because they don't have the pipelines that teams like Amsterdam do, getting Kentucky guys, Wake Forest guys. As that one is popped foul out of play, it'll be 1-1 to Neal. As Muntz has faced one over the minimum so far, he hit the 3-hitter Mike Russell with a pitch.
Neal on the season so far only has 63 at-bats, so a pretty small sample size compared to his teammates.
As that one is popped in the air, Muntz is getting a lot of pop-ups so far. Justin Foscue calls for it, makes the catch. I don't know if you can see it behind our pillar here. Unfortunately, it blocks part of the camera's view. But that was Foscue making the catch for the second out. And that will bring up the leadoff hitter, Bailey Lewis. Lewis grounded out to third in his first at-bat. He's 0 for 1.
And that'll be low and away for a ball. Muntz has recorded the last 7 outs in order, and 4 of those have been pop-ups or fly balls to short right field, as that catches the bottom half of the plate for a strike. It's 1-1 now to Lewis.
As the Mohawks jumped out to a quick lead last night as well, but of course no lead is safe, as that one misses high. It'll be 2-1. This isn't quite the winner-take-all game, as they were hoping that Zach Durant would start this contest, but Muntz has proven that he's up for the challenge of starting baseball games, standing at 6'4", 225, as that one will be ripped into center field, and Mike Antica won't get to that one. That'll be a base hit for the leadoff hitter, Lewis.
That's their first hit of the night, as that was... The scoreboard is now flashing error. I beg to differ, as that was a solid single there for
yeah, that's certainly
Lewis.
The Gremlins. Yep, there we go. Now there's a hit. Just wrong button hit.
Yeah, Durant was a stopgap last night. The Dutchman had scored in 3 consecutive innings before Durant came in, and he pitched 2 scoreless, I believe.
Yeah,
so.
Durant came in, pitched 2 scoreless. Then Teddy Sabato out of Manhattan came in, pitched 2 scoreless, got the win. As that one is slapped up the middle. Nice snag, though, by Tanner Allen. Flips to Elvis Peralta at second. And Tanner Allen's having a little fun with it, as the 4-6 putout will end the inning, as Muntz gives up a single but strands the runner at first. We head to the bottom of the third here at Shuttleworth Park. Your score, Amsterdam 1, Watertown nothing. You're listening to the PGCBL semifinals here on the Amsterdam Mohawks Broadcast Network. Mike Antico out of St. John's University steps up to the plate to lead off the bottom of the third. as he is 0 for 1 with the pop out so far. You mentioned he went 3 for 5 with a run scored last night. As the first pitch from Waldrop, he looks to drop down bunt, but it's popped up as the catcher cannot get to it. That was Bergman. Nice effort by the Connecticut Husky. But it'll be 0-1 as Bergman may have played already against Antico, as Antico is from St. John's University. Both Northeast schools sometimes get together to play. But we mentioned before, I interviewed Antico, as that one is slapped into left center field. The left fielder, has to make a jumping catch for the first out. But if you get a chance, go check out that interview with Antico. It's posted to our Facebook page, Amsterdam Mohawks, as Richie Barella steps up to the plate. Richie is 0 for 1 with a flyout so far.
And Richie at times has led the Mohawks in hits and batting average, as that one bounces in the dirt low and away.
Yeah, as he ended the season tied with Mike Lutter, first in batting average on the Mohawks.
So he ended with 338.
As that 1-0 misses low and away, it'll be 2-0 now to Barella. As the Mohawks haven't been able to do much damage in this first time through the order besides that solo home run from Genord. 2-0 misses outside. It'll be 3-0 now to Barella. The Manhattan Jasper always has a great attitude coming to the ballpark. Out of all the guys, some people, it's hard to have a great attitude every day, as that one catches the outside corner. It'll be 3-1, but Richie Barella always comes in. He's always positive. He always is looking towards the next step, and he's been a great personality to have here in Amsterdam this season.
Yeah, this team in general has seemed to gel pretty well. Richie Barella, one of the...
as that pitch misses high and outside, and Barella's on with the one-out walk.
Richie Barella, one of the cornerstones, I'd say, of the attitude base that the Mohawks have put forward.
Yeah, as they've always had, of course, the winning tradition here at Shuttleworth Park, but different teams have had different, cultures around them. Some guys just win because they're talented. Some guys win because, they have that kind of spark, that it factor. As Ludwig drops down a beautiful bump, it will roll foul, as it was a nice idea by the Wake Forest right fielder.
Ludwig in the past couple of games has tried to lay down a couple of more bunts. I'm not sure if that's just something he's been working on of late, summer ball, trying to get reps in, or if it's something Coach Griffin's seen in practices that he's like, let's try and go for it.
As Ludwig had a 23-game hit streak snapped in the final game of the regular season. As Barella leads away from first. The 0-1. That is slap foul to the backstop, and it will be 0-2 now on Ludwig. The Jamestown Jammers have quickly taken a 2-0 lead over the Geneva Red Wings.
And in that one, Jamestown led the season series over Geneva 8-2. So they've had the upper hand on them all.
Brandon Nania hit an RBI single as they check Barella at first, but he slides back in safely. And they also got an RBI single, RBI ground out, it seems like, out of Alex O'Donnell, as that one is cut on and missed by Ludwig. That'll be the second out of the bottom of the third. That'll bring up Tanner Allen. Allen flew out in his first at-bat to lead off the top of the second. Also, Tanner Allen is the Recovery Sports Grill hitman here at Shuttleworth tonight, which means that if he gets a hit, everyone here at Shuttleworth Park will get a coupon, as that one is popped up high in the air. It looks like we'll have to wait till his next at-bat for him to get one and get everyone a coupon from Recovery Sports Grill. Come for the game, stay for the food, as that one is snagged by the first baseman, Mummy, to end the inning. As we will head to the fourth here at Shuttleworth Park. The Mohawks get Barella on first, but he's stranded. Your score after 3, The Amsterdam Mohawks 1, the Watertown Rapids nothing. You're listening to the PGCBL semifinals, sponsored by KCG Development. Mike Russell will lead off the top of the fourth here at Shuttleworth Park.
Russell, one of three so far to reach base. Sorry, one of two, as he takes that first one for a strike. He was hit by a pitch in the first. It looked like in the elbow.
As the 0-1 is in the dirt, it will leave it at 1-1. Russell, who mentioned hit 376 in the regular season for Watertown. We'll have to see what he did in the playoff game yesterday. As that pitch misses low and away, it is now 2-1 to Russell.
As we have a thunderstick toss happening.
As that 2-1 is lifted once again, a pop-up. Tan Round settles under it, and he'll make the catch to retire Russell with the first out.
The sun's finally bleeding through, something great to see.
We have not seen the sun here in Amsterdam for what feels like weeks. As Nick Bosma steps up to the plate for Watertown. Bosma out of Rhodes University. As first pitch into him catches the bottom part of the plate. It'll be 0-1. Bosma went 0 for 4 last night for Watertown. Russell, who was up before him, as that one is lifted high in the air into center field, but Mike Antico has it lined up, and he'll make the catch over the shoulder for the second out.
So 2 more fly ball outs for Shane Muntz to start off the fourth.
Yes, it seems like all Watertown can do right now is lift the ball in the air. As Will Hurton out of Rhodes University comes up to the plate. Hurton against Mohawk Valley last night went 1 for 4. He hit in the 2-hole. As that pitch misses inside, it'll be 1-0. Will, on the season, is hitting .333, 47 for 131, with 37 runs scored, which is tied for the team lead. As the 1-0 into Hurton, curveball catches the inside corner, evens at 1-1.
And this Watertown team is actually already in essentially their third playoff game, as they had a play-in game as they needed to win against Sardi's in the regular season finale.
As that broken bat will be a one-hopper. Elvis Peralta Jr. barehands it, tosses it to first. And it's too easy for the Mohawks in the field right now, as Shane Muntz is through 4 scoreless. Sun's peeking through here at Shuttleworth Park. Things are looking up for Amsterdam. Your score after 3.5. The Amsterdam Mohawks 1, the Watertown Rapids nothing. You're listening to the PGCBL semifinals, sponsored by KCG Development. Shane Muntz, the starting pitcher for the Mohawks, also in the designated hitter position, will lead off the bottom of the 4th inning here at Shuttleworth. As we jinx the sun right now, it just went back behind the clouds as that one misses away. It's 1-0 now. As Tyler Waldrop out of Wayne State for Watertown has thrown 3 innings of 1-run ball, the only run coming on a solo home run by Joe Genord. As that ball bounces in the dirt, it's 2-0 now to Muntz. As Amsterdam, it looked like they were almost, we saw Elvis Peralta Jr. make a nice barehand play for the last out of the top of the 4th as that one misses outside. It's 3-0, and I mentioned it looking too easy for them. They got to the edge of the dugout, and Coach Keith Griffin huddled everyone up, and it looked like he really chewed them out over. It seemed like he kind of told them that, hey, you haven't won anything yet, as that curveball catches the outside corner against Muntz, as it is 3-1 on the Wake Forest Demon Deacon. But I don't think it was anything bad by Keith Griffin. I think he's just trying to tell the Mohawks that it ain't over till it's over. They were up 7-0 last night, and Albany came back to tie it. They're only up 1-0 right now.
And if I had to guess, that's exactly the message that Coach Griffin said. Hey, you guys blew a 7-run lead last night. What are you guys doing cheering on with a 1-run lead?
As that one is ripped foul down the left field line. As Shane Muntz with a full count working against Waldrop. Shane in the regular season hit very well, 337, as that one misses outside, and Muntz is on with a leadoff walk. And that'll bring up Joe Genord. Joe is the only RBI so far of the game with that solo home run in the bottom of the 2nd inning with 2 outs, as he took a 2-1 pitch over the right center field wall. It looked like, I think, over the St. Mary's Healthcare sign. You can see it out in the outfield. And first pitch into Genord. Curveball is chopped down to third base. They say it's a fair ball, and they will get Genord at first as Shane Muntz rounded second, but gets back in there safely. So they move up Muntz as Genord is retired for the first out.
And that ball looked like it was going to trickle foul, but it stayed fair long enough for the third baseman to get it, as Justin Foskey will now step up to the plate. But Joe Genord, after a rough night last night, he struck out 3 or 4 times, I believe 3, not reaching
He struck out 4 times, actually. He went 0 for 4 with a walk in the first round game last night, as Foskey out of Mississippi State takes the first pitch strike on the outside corner. 0-1.
So it's good to see him making contact again, at least. I mean, the first one was a bomb, obviously, the home run, but even the ground out's still better than striking out.
And the 0-1 to Foskey in the dirt. Nice stop there by the catcher, Bergman. It'll be 1-1. Excuse me if I can't get Watertown's immediate players on the broadcast. Since we haven't played against them yet, I want to make sure I get the pronunciations of the names correctly and don't butcher it too bad. As that one is ripped to the shortstop, they will get Shane Muntz at third, who I don't know why he was running on the play. I guess because it was a hard hit ball and he really didn't have a choice in the matter, because he was probably going to get put into a rundown either way. But either way, that will bring up Jake Hammond out of Morehead State with 2 outs and a runner on first.
And Foskey is a faster runner than Shane Muntz, but Shane Muntz at second base is a lot more valuable than Justin Foskey at first. So that 90 feet hopefully won't come back to haunt the Mohawks as we're in the bottom of the 4th in a 1-run game.
The first pitch from Waldrop to Hammond is cut on and missed. High fastball there to the Morehead State Eagle. It'll be 0-1. Jake has solidified himself kind of as one of the starting outfielders here for Amsterdam. I think this lineup will be what we'll see out of the Mohawks for the rest of the playoffs, barring any injuries or anything like that. The 0-1, as going is the runner Foskey, and they have him dead to rights at second base. Good throw there from the catcher Bergman. And that will get Watertown out of the inning As the Mohawks score no runs on no hits, they strand one base runner, or excuse me, no base runners actually. All the base runners were erased, so no base runners, no errors in the inning. Your score after 4, the Amsterdam Mohawks 1, the Watertown Rapids nothing. You're listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Broadcast Network here on YouTube Live. Kenny Bergman, who made the third out, or excuse me, he didn't make the third out. He had the throw down to second that got the third out of the top of the 4th as he will lead off, or excuse me, the bottom of the 4th as we will lead off the top of the 5th. I am all confused here, Justin.
Let me reset this for you. Both pitchers at...
As that one is lifted down the left field line, and that will hook foul
Okay.
as the third base umpire made the call, as that was a hard drive there from Kenny Bergman.
So far on the night, Joe Genord has the only home run and has scored the only run for either team, so it's 1-0 Mohawks.
As that curveball catches the outside corner, it'll be 0-2 now to Bergman.
Shane Muntz is now at 54 pitches. Opposing pitcher Tyler Waldrop is at 50 pitches on the dot. So,
as that pitch misses low and away, it'll be 1-2. Bergman is 0 for 1 on the day. He flew out to right field in his first at bat.
But for these two teams to be in what's a pitcher's duel 4 innings in is pretty much as surprising as you might expect.
As that 1-2 misses low, it'll be 2-2. I mean, Amsterdam does have the best pitching staff, so to speak, in the league, but we expected wholeheartedly last night. I interviewed Zach Durant, who was headed to Lynn University in the fall, pitched at Herkimer this past season, as that one misses away, and Muntz now falls behind 3-2 to Bergman. But I thought when we were talking to Zach Durant, we wholeheartedly thought he would start game 1 here, as that one is cut out and missed by Bergman, as Muntz collects his third strikeout on the day. And that will bring up Alex Mummy, the first baseman from Ursinus College. But now Zach Durant, after going 2 innings last night, now it looks like maybe he'll have to be used in that sense, maybe coming out of the bullpen either tomorrow or the next day, as that one is popped high in the air, as Jake Hammond and Elvis Peralta Jr. make a run for it, but it will actually hit off the light pole, as that was a nice shot there by Mummy. And also Alex Mummy's his last name is spelled M-U-M-M-E. I thought it was going to be Mume, or I think it was, I thought it was going to be Mum, but I believe it's Mummy.
As we had a very nice Watertown fan who is actually a father of a coach.
As that pitch misses high, it's 1-1 now to Mummy.
Walk us through some of these pronunciations as we were writing the lineups on the board.
As Watertown, we mentioned, they kind of have a ragtag group of guys, not from a lot of prolific known universities, but they have certainly gotten the job done at the plate and have followed up with a solid job on the mound, and it's gotten them into the playoffs. They were able to beat Mohawk Valley, the defending champions, which also we haven't talked about yet. That means the PGCBL champion this year will not be a repeat. So we'll get a new champion again this year. As that curveball is in there for a called strike 3. As Shane Muntz is working here, that's his 4th strikeout, 2nd of the inning. And that will bring up the 8-hitter Trevor Kunsel out of George Washington University.
And Jamestown did make the finals last year, I believe. So
yep, they lost to Mohawk Valley, so we still have the Western Division champion defending, as that will be the Western Division. That will be the Western Division champ no matter what. As that first pitch to Kunsel catches the outside corner, it's 0-1. Because in the West we have Jamestown versus Geneva, so no matter what, a Western team will make the finals. As that pitch is lifted into foul territory, Richie Brella lining it up and will try to make the catch but cannot. He goes into the netting. He chills there for a second, but luckily he looks to be all right. Just a little annoyed that he wasn't able to get the 3rd out there.
Yeah, so Jamestown coming off of a championship where they got to the league finals last year. They win and have the #1 overall seed in the after the regular season this year, so they get that bye right into the semifinals.
Yeah, as Jamestown lost in straight games to Mohawk Valley, so they also have something to prove because they still haven't proven. As that curveball, Shane Muntz wanted it, but it sits just high, and it'll be 1-2 now. As the scoreboard has it wrong, it's at 1-1 right now, but Muntz looking for his 3rd K of the inning. The 1-2 is cut on and missed. And that's the 3rd out. As everyone waits for a second, the umpire called it a strike instead of a punch out, which was his mistake. As Shane Muntz strikes out the side in the 5th. He has 5 strikeouts in 5 scoreless innings here for Amsterdam. We head to the bottom half of the inning as we're halfway done with Game 1 of the PGCBL semifinals, sponsored by KCG Development. Moving quickly here, Amsterdam up 1-0 over Watertown. Jake Hammond out of Morehead State steps up to the plate. It was cool to talk with Mike Antico before the game because I asked him about his walk-up song, which is Pull the Trigger by Russ. And he says that's just kind of, it's a good song and it's relative to the situation, as you always want to pull the trigger at the plate and be aggressive. As that first pitch to Hammond misses low and away, 1-0. As that pitch misses, and it's 2-0 to number 14, who is 1 for 1 so far today. He had a single in the second but was stranded. But the Mohawks, as a team, it seems like one of the most popular artists to listen to is Drake, and that's probably like that on a lot of baseball teams, as that one is cut on and missed by Hammond. He'll be 2-1, but Mike said he and Jake listen to Drake all day, and that's a big part of their pre-game mix if they're listening before a game or just lounging around on off days. As a 2-1 from Waldrop is punched into left field for a base hit, as good fundamental fielding, and we'll say from the left fielder, Bosma, goes down to one knee. When you hit into the outfield like that, it immediately dies in the grass where it's turf on the infield and you expect bounces. So we've seen already a couple of even Mohawks fielders who this is their home field that they know about. And we've seen balls get past guys including Mike Antico, Jake Hammond, Tanner Allen, all quality fielders. As Elvis Peralta is up here out of Marshall University. First pitch to Elvis is fouled off. It'll be 0-1.
Jake Hammond ended the season on a tear. He had an on-base percentage over 400 in his last 7 games as we wound down towards the end of the regular season, and he's kept it up here. He ended up scoring the winning run last night, as we've discussed, and now he has 2 singles so far tonight.
The 0-1 to Peralta. That curveball is punched through the hole on the right side. That'll be a base hit, as it actually was smothered by the second baseman, but he can't hold on to it, as Kunsel made a nice play of at least keeping that from rolling into right field and letting Jake Hammond go from first to third as he stops at second. And now it will be runners on first and second and nobody out for Mike Antico out of St. John's.
Yeah, that would normally have been Mummy's ball, but at first base, but Jake Hammond was, as well as a mound visit here, Jake Hammond was looking and needed to be held on there at first, so that created the hole there in between first and second base.
As it looks like the mound visit will be by the head coach David Anderson for Watertown, as the Mohawks will get together too and talk. It will be Coach Austin Casino, who is an assistant for Mississippi State, who has joined the Mohawks along with Tanner Allen and Justin Foscue after their College World Series run. As Coach Keith Griffin talks with the Amsterdam players, and we will reset here in the bottom of the 5th at Shuttleworth Park. Mohawks trying to add to their 1-0 lead against Watertown in Game 1 of the PGCBL semifinals. And we tweeted about it, we talked about it on Facebook, but if you haven't heard yet, the PGCBL semifinals will be a best-of-3 games. Game 1 is here tonight. Game 2 is in Watertown tomorrow. And if neither team has 2 wins, that one is dropped down by Antico. Foul, though.
That was a late foul call by the umpire, as it was foul from the get-go. But
yeah, well, I mean, he has to wait until it's snagged by the catcher.
Rolled back there, I guess.
I guess you see guys. So we've seen guys even in the majors before get down on all fours and blow the ball foul. As it'll be 0-1 here to Antico, who's 0 for 2 so far tonight. He did go 3 for 5. We mentioned a couple times in last night's contest as he found a resurgence, as he will square around to bunt again, but that one is a called strike now. Is dropped by the catcher Bergman, but he'll be 0-2 now. As we do have the lights on here at Shuttleworth, we probably don't need them just yet, but just as a precaution.
Yeah, and it was so cloudy earlier that the lights were necessary at one point, I think, but the sun came out in the past couple of innings and is now
the 0-2. Antico is bunting still, and he'll bunt foul, so he will strike out. As that will bring up Richie Barella. Barella is 0 for 1 with a walk so far today, after a season which saw him hit .338, heading into his senior season at Manhattan College. Also, in other news, I mean, it may not be something for everyone, but Hall of Fame game tonight for the NFL. Football is back, even though it's just preseason, as that curveball misses high. It's 1-0. As we have runners on first and second here, 1 out for Barella, who slaps that one foul. It will be 1-1 now to the first baseman. As we've seen Barella play 7 positions this season. The only positions he hasn't gotten in at are pitcher and catcher.
As it seems like a lot of position players for the Mohawks have gotten in to pitch, as he takes that off-speed pitch in for a strike. Jake Hammond we've seen pitch. Cole Barr, who's home now, we've seen pitch. So it's almost sort of surprising that we didn't see Richie Barella pitch at all, as he is rather athletic and probably has a nice fastball. But
yeah, I will say, though, he usually doesn't play positions where he does have a solid arm. As that one is slapped into right field, and that'll be a base hit. Jake Hammond got a late start as he had to make sure it wouldn't be caught. So he only gets the third, but Barella keeps the line moving. It'll be the bases loaded here. And one out for Michael Ludwig.
And that might be it for Waldorf.
Yeah, as it will be now, as that's the second mound visit, so they have to take him out.
Or, sorry, Waldrop, not Waldorf.
Yeah, Waldorf. Yeah, I want to say Waldorf, too. There's a Waldorf school around here. I think we've had a Waldorf pitch already here. But solid effort by the Wayne State University product, who came in with a 4.50 ERA, over 4 innings in the PJCBL. He had an ERA of around 5 at college this past year, so against a lineup of mainly Division I guys, throws 4 1/3 innings of 1-run ball. He is on the hook for all 3 base runners, so we'll see how this ends up. But we will have a big lefty coming in for Watertown. We're not sure what Watertown's status is when it comes to pitchers. When I went down there and showed them the roster that was on the PGCBL website, they told me to strike out 6 guys already, including one of the main ones, Matt Vallon out of SUNY Cortland. He was a good starter for the team, and it'll be number 36.
Garrett Crowley?
It will be Garrett Crowley out of Fordham University. As we'll take a look at Crowley's stats on the season. He's only appeared in 1 game, 3 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 5 hits and 5 runs. They're all earned. He walked 3 and struck out 1, as he is 0-0 with an ERA of 13.50. So not the best of outings in his only appearance in a Watertown uniform. But the Fordham Ram will have to step up here with only 1 out for Watertown, as it will be Michael Ludwig. They make the move lefty on lefty here, which is probably a good coaching decision, definitely a good strategy as they try and coax a ground ball out of Michael Ludwig. As the Wake Forest Demon Deacon heated up in his second half for Amsterdam and became one of the best hitters in the lineup, as he's had not exactly a back injury, but he sometimes has back issues where it's been bothering him and he's had some cramps and stuff. But Carla Pasquarelli and the rest of the Mohawks training staff have done a great job with him and the rest of the players who have had aches, pains, and different injuries. And I'm sure Michael is very grateful of that, as he will be the first batter to face Crowley. We have Jake Hammond on third, Elvis Peralta Jr. on second, and Richie Barella at first. First pitch to Ludwig misses high, 1-0.
Crowley at 6'4" is one of the taller guys on the diamond right now, up there with Shane Munson.
Yeah, now they have matching pitchers. The 1-0. That one is fouled right back by Ludwig. And if there was no netting there, it would have been close to hitting us. The count will be even at 1-1. On deck is Tanner Allen, the lefty out of Mississippi State. The 1-1. Curveball misses low. Nice stop there by the catcher, Bergman. It'll be 2-1 now to Ludwig. As Amsterdam looks to make its, I believe, 7th appearance in the PGCBL Finals. That pitch misses low and away, and it will be 3-1 now. And it won't be the 7th appearance in the finals. I think it'll only be the 6th and then 5 titles, as they lost to Newark in 2011 in the finals in a straight sets. It was actually a doubleheader at the time. As that pitch catches the inside corner, Ludwig thought he had a bases loaded walk and an RBI, but he'll have to step back in the box here as the count is full.
Yeah, and Crowley coming in here in a jam through 3 of his first 4 pitches for balls was getting a little bit frustrated.
Now the 3-2. Misses low and inside, and that will walk in a run as the Mohawks increase their lead to 2-0. As Ludwig picks up the easiest RBI he'll have all day. And that'll bring up Tanner Allen with the bases loaded and only one out. Allen was in this same position just in the bottom of the second, I believe, last night, and he cleared the bases with a 3 RBI double. Yep. So we'll see how he does now against Crowley, the lefty. First pitch into Allen, misses low and away. It'll be 1-0, as I'm sure he'll be getting the take sign a couple of times and make Crowley at least throw one strike before he swings away.
And with the speedy Peralta at third, Crowley has to be careful here that nothing gets away.
That 1-0 catches the outside corner, evens it at 1-1. Yeah, and you're certainly right. The catcher Bergman has been very good defensively so far, as I think he's made very few errors this season for the Rapids. The 1-1 cut on and missed, and it is actually fouled, excuse me. So Peralta can't advance as it got away from the catcher, but they say it was fouled at the plate. Bergman behind the plate has only made 3 errors all season, and that is in 31 games. So very good clip there, especially for a catcher. As the 1-2 is cut on and missed by Allen. Nice pitch there by Crowley. Off-speed pitch being chased away from Allen, as that will bring up the pitcher Shane Muntz here with the bases loaded, as we'll have a 6'4" versus 6'4" matchup, pitcher versus pitcher. Mohawks up 2-0 now after the bases loaded walk given up to Michael Ludwig. First pitch into Muntz, misses low and inside. It'll be 1-0.
Shane Muntz here has a big strike zone at 6'4", so...
Yeah, so Crowley hopes to be helped out by that, but Muntz now the first righties faced tonight, as the first 2 batters were lefties. So now Muntz has the advantage. And that one is lifted high and deep into left field, and Shane Muntz has helped himself with a grand slam. As the Mohawks have blown it open, it is 6-0 in favor of Amsterdam. Shane Muntz had 7 regular season home runs, but none were as big as this one, as he spots himself a 6-0 lead, as Amsterdam looks to continue to pour it on. They did go up 7-0 at one point last night, and they ended up getting tied, so they will not look to rest. But the grand slam by Shane Muntz becomes the biggest hit of the season for Amsterdam, as Joe Genord, who also has a home run already on the night, steps up to the plate. Joe's 1 for 2 with that homer so far. First pitch into him is fouled off. And it'll be 0-1.
Muntz, his 8th home run of the season, actually ties him with Joe Genord. Although this
it'll be separate stats. Yeah,
Joe
now
Genord actually has 9 now in the regular and postseason, so he'll stay 1 ahead.
As that pitch misses low, it'll be 1-1 now to Genord. And Joe, we mentioned he had 4 strikeouts last night, and he's just seemed a little bit distracted. I'm not sure what's been up with him. He seems very serious nowadays, but hopefully everything's all right personally for him. But either way, the Mohawks are certainly thankful that he's still with the team, as that one misses high. It's 2-1. As Joe has been not only a catalyst in the lineup, but has some of the best leadership skills, as that one's ripped down the line and down the left field line. Joe Genord looks to have himself an extra base hit. It is fielded by the left fielder Bosma, and Joe Genord will slide in safely with a 2-out double.
By no means Joe Genord's best slide into second there as he stumbled across the finish line, but he had enough time there as it was buried in the corner.
As that'll bring up Justin Foscue out of Mississippi State. Foscue is the 9th man to come up for the Mohawks in the inning, as now we'll have another mound visit from the Watertown head coach here.
This isn't just a mound visit, this is a pitching change.
And they will make a pitching change. Crowley is taken out as he comes in, only gets 1 out and gives up 5 runs, as only 2 of them will be charged to him, though. So, well, he'll be charged with 5. 2 of them will be earned.
Waldrop will get 3 of those.
Yeah, so Waldrop will get 3. David Anderson was the head coach who made the change for Watertown, as we'll now see a right-handed pitcher to come in against Foscue. As Watertown we knew this would be bright lights for the Rapids, as they have not only have they never been in the playoffs in the PGCBL, they have never played in the PGCBL before this season. So a lot of these guys, as it will be a Cornell University product, it will actually be Garrett, if I'm not mistaken, as he's not listed on our roster. We'll have to see on the online roster for Watertown.
Garrett Bailey.
And it's Garrett Bailey. And the interesting fact about Garrett Bailey from Cornell University, he is from Fort Ann, New York. He went to Fort Ann High School.
Okay.
So up in near Lake George. I'm actually from Lake George, so I know that's the reason I know Bailey, but he's had a quality season, I believe, for Watertown. And actually, he's only made one appearance for Watertown. I feel like he might have pitched for a different PGCBL team earlier in the season. And I don't know how those transactions go when it comes to switching from team to team, but either way, he's on the Rapids now. He has one appearance, 4 innings for them.
That was not a great
He gave up 4 hits and 4 runs as the Cornell Big Red product. He has an ERA of 9 even. He walked 2 and struck out 2 over those 4 innings, as Foscue will come up to the plate as Watertown looks to just stop the bleeding and have a chance to get back into this game, as they haven't been able to do anything against Shane Muntz, the starter. First pitch to Foscue misses high. It'll be 1-0. Joe Genord at second base, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th. 6-0 in favor of Amsterdam in Game 1 of the PGCBL semifinals. It is a best-of-3 matchup, as that pitch is flown into right center field by Justin Foscue. Ranging over will be the right fielder, Lewis, to make the catch and retire the side. But not before Amsterdam plates 5 runs on 5 hits, as they leave 1 on base. There were no errors in the inning for Watertown, as we will head to the 6th here at Shuttleworth Park. Your score, the Amsterdam Mohawks 6, the Watertown Rapids nothing. You're listening to the PGCBL semifinals, sponsored by KCG Development. Shane Muntz back out to pitch the top of the 6th here for Amsterdam after hitting a grand slam in the bottom half of the inning. The 9-hitter Samuel Neal for Watertown will lead off the top of the 6th here, as the Case Western Reserve product playing center field tonight for Watertown, takes the first pitch low for a ball, 1-0. As Amsterdam looks to hold on to this large lead now, as that pitch misses inside, it'll be 2-0 now to Neal. After relinquishing a 7-0 lead last night, they'll look to learn from their mistakes there. As the 2-0 catches the bottom half of the play, it'll be 2-1. And it looks like it's still 2-0 in favor of Jamestown. Now they're in the bottom of the fourth at Dietrich Park. The 2-1, that one is chopped foul, as Richie Brella makes a nice snag, but in foul territory. It'll be 2-2 now to Neal. As luckily this game is moving quicker than what happened last night, as we didn't get done till about 12:45. Of course, I'm not trying to jinx it here, but mainly that's been because of the stellar pitching from Shane Muntz, as that one is chopped foul by Neal once again. As there had to be several pitching changes made by both teams last night. The Mohawks ended up using 5 pitchers. Excuse me, actually only 4, as they used Zane Stevens, Blake Espinal. Excuse me, I was right with 5. They also used Ryan Lanero. And then Zach Durant came in through 2 scoreless, and then Teddy Sabato came in through 2 scoreless in the 8th and 9th and got the win as that pitch misses low. It's now 3-2 to the 9-hitter Neal. It will be 9-1-2 here in the 6th for Watertown, as Shane Muntz will have to wait for Neal to step back in. The 3-2 is ripped to second base. Nice diving stop by Tanner Allen. Hops up, throws the first and gets the out. As that was a quality play there by Tanner Allen, as that was brought to you by High Level Jiu-Jitsu here, as it's located at the Riverfront Center in Amsterdam. High Level Jiu-Jitsu has high quality physical training as well as morale training and positivity. As that will bring up the leadoff hitter, Bailey Lewis, out of Catholic University. Lewis so far is 1 for 2. He's singled in the 3rd, as now we have a switch for Tanner Allen, as now he has to switch belts, it looks like. I think he busted his belt on second base. I guess that's what happens when you make great plays like that and maybe eat too many cheeseburgers before the game, as I'm sure Tanner Allen will get some ribbon from his teammates. As Tanner actually is probably the smallest dude on the infield right now, maybe besides Elvis Peralta. But it looks like he's okay now. The Montgomery, Alabama native, who's been an absolute fan favorite since coming out. Excuse me, he's from Theodore, Alabama. I said Montgomery, Alabama because I believe Justin Foskey's from Huntsville, Alabama. I don't know what I'm talking about, as that one is in there for a strike. Or excuse me, it won't be, as it will be 1-0 now to Bailey. But Tanner Allen of Theodore, Alabama, now gets his new belt, as that one is in there for a called strike. It'll be 1-1 now to Bailey. And the 1-1 from Muntz. Off-speed pitch is in there for a called strike, as he's ahead 1-2, as Muntz has been able to settle in, as he's been able to get those strike calls on those 1-1 pitches. That's been his main bread and butter tonight, as the 1-2 is slapped back up the middle, as Tanner Allen will have to make another beautiful defensive play. Makes the throw across, moving from first to second base, and Tanner Allen, Elvis Peralta is standing there amazed, and Allen just walks back to his position like nothing happened out of the ordinary. I don't know if I've seen a smoother fielding infielder here, at least in my short time with the Mohawks. I'll have to ask former broadcaster Cody Marshall what he thinks of Allen this season, as that will bring up the 2-hitter Julian Couric out of Wilmington College. Couric is 0 for 2 so far, as he hit into a fielder's choice and grounded out. First pitch into him is a called strike. 0-1. As we have little to no wind here at Shuttleworth Park, as that pitch just misses inside. It'll be 1-1. As the Mohawks certainly have their best fielding infield out there that they've had all season, I could probably say. As Foscue at third, Peralta at short, Allen at second, and Burrell at first. All are certainly plus-level defenders, and a lot of them are almost all-star caliber, certainly in the field. You've seen Tanner Allen make some great plays. I've seen Elvis Peralta make a ton of great snags on balls in the hole. Foscue's made some really strong throws from third base, and Richie Burrell at first seems to do it all. As the Mohawks ended up second in fielding percentage with a .976 clip to end the regular season. As that one ends up hitting the two-hitter Couric. And he'll be on first with 2 out. That brings up Mike Russell, the third baseman out of Stony Brook. Russell is 0-for-1 with a hit by pitch so far. Couric on first is actually only Watertown's third base runner. Only one of those is on a hit. The other two are on hit by pitches. As we have Coach Keith Griffin coming out to talk with Shane Muntz. I don't know if the Mohawks do have someone warming up in the pen. It looks like a lefty, but I'm not sure where Coach Keith Griffin will go from here. It looks like he will leave Muntz in, which would probably be the right decision. I think Muntz is only at about 75 pitches as he looks to get through 6 scoreless here. Only 1 out to go. As this is certainly what the doctor ordered for Amsterdam, at least when it comes to pitching, as they had to use 4 pitchers last night in the bullpen. We currently have Dale Stanovich warming up, number 7 out of Marshall University. He's also an Amsterdam, New York native. So we'll see how Shane does against the 3-hitter Russell here with 2 outs. The first pitch from Muntz, curveball is high. It'll be 1-0. Russell so far today, I mentioned, is 0-for-1 with the hit by pitch. Muntz waits. The 1-0 is high once again. 2 curveballs miss. It'll be 2-0 now. As the main thing that has unraveled some starts for Shane this season has been his control more so than getting hits off of him. The 2-0 misses low, and it will now be 3-0 to Russell. If you have just joined us recently, the Mohawks up 6-0 as Shane Muntz on the mound also has a grand slam tonight at the plate, as well as a home run from Joe Genora. As that one is in there for a called strike, it will be 3-1 now to Russell as Shane tries to throw 6 scoreless and be the hero at the plate tonight, and I'm sure he'd love for that to be the headline tomorrow. The 3-1. That pitch misses low, and Russell will be on with the 2-out walk, and that gives Watertown runners on first and second. That's Russell's second time on the base paths tonight. And that will bring up the 4-hitter Nick Bosma, the left fielder out of Rhodes University. As we'll get an update on Jamestown and Geneva, it's still 2-0 top of the 5th at Dietrich Park. Geneva only has 2 hits, Jamestown only with 3 hits, but the 2 runs on, I believe, a wild pitch and then an RBI single. First pitch into Bosma is a curveball on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Bosma this season has been one of the best hitters for Watertown all around, as he's been hitting .285, but he has 21 runs scored, 4 doubles, 1 triple, and 7 home runs, as that one catches the outside corner. It's 0-2 to Bosma. as he also had 32 RBIs, which was tied for the team lead to go along with 9 walks and 35 strikeouts at the plate. It seemed like Watertown seemed to live and die by the home run. They had 54 total on the season, and I think that led the league. As now stepping out of the box is Bosma. We'll reset. Also an interesting fact, it looks like Rhodes University, as that pitch misses just outside. The Mohawks hometown crowd wanted a strikeout there, but it just wouldn't happen. And the Rhodes University that I'm finding right now is located in South Africa. If there are any Watertown Rapids fans that want to comment to confirm that, go ahead, as that pitch is in there for a called strike 3. Shane Muntz collects his 6th strikeout on the day, as that will send us to the bottom of the 6th here at Shuttleworth Park. In the inning, no runs on no hits, no errors by the Mohawks as 2 were left stranded. Your score after 5.5, the Amsterdam Mohawks 6, the Watertown Rapids nothing. You are listening to the PGCBL semifinals, sponsored by KCG Development. And it looks like Garrett Bailey will stay out there for the Rapids to pitch as Jake Hammond, the left-handed hitter, steps in. Hammond, the only Mohawk, or excuse me, he's one of 2 Mohawks with multiple hits tonight. Joe Janoret has a home run and a double, as Hammond is 2 for 2 so far with 2 singles. As the first pitch into him misses low, it'll be 1-0. I talked to Elvis Peralta Jr. Before yesterday's game, and I mentioned how the Mohawks this year are very deep when it comes to power in the lineup. It seems like every guy can step up and take any pitcher deep. As that one catches the outside corner, it'll be 1-1 now to Hammond. And he says, except for Jake. He ended up saying he wanted to fit in there, but Jake couldn't. And that isn't him saying anything bad about Hammond, as that one is slapped back to Bailey at the pitcher's mound. He will run it over to first base for the first out. But he was mainly saying that Jake mainly goes for singles, and it shows in his batting average as he's improved it vastly. We talked about his OBP is almost 500 over his last 7 games. He already has 2 hits tonight. He's retired there for the first time tonight. As Elvis Peralta Jr. will step up to the plate. Elvis is 1 for 2 so far tonight. He had a single last inning as him and Hammond scored on the grand slam by Shane Muntz. As that one catches the outside corner, and it is 0-2 now to Peralta Jr. after fouling off the first pitch. And Peralta doesn't like that call. And the 0-2 is slap foul that will get over the grandstand and into the parking lot. And Bailey will set the 0-2. That one slapped past the mound. The shortstop has to make a nice play on it, and they will get the out at first. Making the split was the first baseman, Mummy, at the bag, and that was an insane play as the shortstop Hurton makes a nice play there for the second out. That was a bang-bang play, but it looks like Elvis was out by barely half a step as Mike Antico will step up to the plate.
Yeah, great stretch there by Mummy. I don't think without the stretch they would have had Peralta, so he needed every inch of that split.
Yeah, as Antico steps in out of St. John's University. Mike is 0 for 3 so far tonight after going 3 for 5 last night as he tries to still collect his first hit of the ball game. As that one misses low, it'll be 2-0 now to the center fielder.
He's one of 2 Mohawks so far that has yet to reach base. Tanner Allen and Mike Antico are the 2. Although Tanner Allen has made a few defensive plays.
Ooh, as that one almost hits Antico, he has to turn away from it. It'll be 3-0 now to the Colts Neck, New Jersey native.
And I don't believe that's Garrett Bailey anymore.
It's number 16.
16 is not in the roster.
Excuse me,
online.
it is not.
No, I think it is 16.
That one catches the inside corner. It'll be 3-1. Yeah, it is 16, but I was saying it was Garrett Bailey. I thought it was, so now it looks like. What was Garrett Bailey's number listed before?
23.
Okay, so is that one a slap foul? It'll be
Cam
3-2
Guarino
now.
out of New Haven.
And it isn't Cam Guarino. He's not here anymore, so that is a different pitcher.
That's
so we
awesome.
have a mystery pitcher right now. We'll have to see who it is.
Whoever he is, he's doing pretty well so far to start off this inning.
And the 3-2 to Antico. That one is grounded over to second base. Nice snag by the second baseman Kunsel, and that'll be the third out. So the mystery pitcher works a 1-2-3 bottom of the 6th, getting 3 groundouts out of the Mohawks as we will head to the 7th here at Shuttleworth Park. Your score, Amsterdam 6, Watertown nothing. You're listening to the PGCBL semifinal sponsored by KCG Development. Shane Muntz is back out to throw the top of the 7th. He did not change jerseys. He was announced as Garrett Bailey because he has the updated roster. As Shane Muntz misses with the first pitch here it'll be Will Hurton up for the Rapids out of Rhodes University as that one was fouled off. It's 1-1 now to the shortstop. We found out Rhodes University, and correct us if we're wrong here on the broadcast, but I think it's in South Africa. As that one has popped up, and it isn't coming down, as it'll come down on the grandstand, probably right above us. It'll be 1-2 now to Hurton, but we might be mistaken, but at least when I looked at Google, that's where it came up as. As Muntz at 90 pitches to start this one, that curveball misses high. It'll be 2-2 now, so he's at 94.
And we were sort of surprised to see Shane Muntz come out here for the top of the 7th, but, I mean, he's pitching a one-hit shutout as we speak, so I guess they're just going with the hot hand.
And the 2-2, that one is grounded down to shortstop. Elvis Peralta Jr. has to try and make a jump throw, and he makes it for the out, as that was a quality throw from Peralta Jr. As we mentioned, the Mohawks earlier in the game got chewed out for their flashy fielding, but they've continued, but it's not because they're trying to do it, it's because the way the balls are being hit, it's just making them have to make those plays.
Yeah, Watertown's been hitting it in the gaps all night, and the Mohawks have just been able to answer for every call.
As Kenny Bergman steps up, the catcher out of the University of Connecticut, playing a nice game behind the plate so far, as that one misses low and away. It'll be 1-0. But Watertown hasn't been able to get anything going against Muntz. I'm sure that's why they send him back out there for the 7th. Staying at 96 pitches, the 1-0 is fouled off, and it hit one of the metal rungs that holds the netting up here, so it actually gets onto the field again as the first base coach for Watertown heads over, makes the snag.
And Geneva just hit a solo home run in the top of the 6th inning, so it'll be 2-1 Jamestown now, just past the halfway point there.
The 1-1 from Muntz. That off-speed pitch is nubbed to second base. Tanner Allen charges it, makes a running throw to Barella. It ends up being low, but Barella follows through with it, and that'll be the second out.
That ball took an extremely weird bounce off the turf, as it looked like it was headed for first base before turning and heading towards Tanner Allen.
Yeah, that one took a wrong turn at Albuquerque, as that will bring up Alex Mummy. I think it's Mummy when I had gotten the pronunciation. I want to say Mummy or Moom, but it's Mummy.
It's actually number 25.
Yeah, we will actually have a pinch hitter. It'll be the left-handed hitter, Ben Maycock, out of University of Connecticut. Maycock on the season, we'll take a look at his stats as the first pitch, as Muntz actually will step off. Maycock on the season is hitting .265 in 68 at-bats, 18 hits, as he has 6 doubles and 3 home runs to go with 15 RBIs. So the lefty tries to get something going with 2 outs against Shane Muntz and nobody on, as that curveball is in there for a called strike 0-1. Muntz, I think that was his 98th pitch. So up around 100 pitches. If he doesn't get this batter, he may be taken out, so he'll try and throw his fourth 1-2-3 inning of the day, as that one is in there for a called strike, and he's quickly ahead on Maycock 0-2.
And that was pitch number 100, so he has now hit the century mark, and he'll try and go through 7 scoreless.
As Amsterdam trying to secure this Game 1 win and have a chance to clinch a PGCBL Finals berth in Game 2 in Watertown tomorrow. As that one misses off the plate, it's 1-2 now to Maycock. Muntz sets, delivers. That one is cut on and missed. 7 strikeouts over 7 scoreless innings for Shane Muntz. Only 1 hit given up, 3 base runners total. His third 1-2-3 inning on the night sends us to the 7th inning stretch. You are listening to the PGCBL Playoffs, sponsored by KCG Development. Richie Barella, the first baseman out of Manhattan, will step in to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning as Garrett Bailey stays out to pitch for Watertown. As